morning. I'm Jen Amos at Weiss Research.
I'm Andy Myers, and this is your morning market alert for Tuesday, June 7th. Stocks on Wall Street may rebound following 4 straight days of losses. The decline has come amid concerns about a potential slowdown in the U.S. economic recovery. Those fears were highlighted by the government employment report on Friday, which showed just 54,000 new non-farm jobs created in May. Today, Federal Reserve Chairman Ben Bernanke will get his first chance to respond to the numbers when he speaks to the International Monetary Conference in Atlanta this afternoon. Most analysts think he'll remain optimistic that the economy will pick up speed in the second half of this year, and he may reiterate his belief that the impact of rising commodity prices is transitory.
Speaking of commodity prices, we are seeing some evidence that Bernanke's theory was correct, at least when it comes to oil prices. Light sweet crude jumped to around $115 a barrel in April, driving up gasoline prices and cutting into consumer spending. But it's since fallen back below the $100 mark. Right now, oil prices are trading around $98.50 a barrel, as investors await the outcome of the OPEC meeting beginning tomorrow in Vienna. Most analysts expect the group to keep its production levels steady or raise them slightly. Meanwhile, gold is holding steady around $1,550 an ounce as the dollar declines against most major currencies. Contributing to the dollar's weakness is a warning by a Chinese official against excessive holdings of U.S. assets.
On the corporate front, we continue to keep an eye on shares of Apple. They're likely to open modestly higher after dropping about 1.5% yesterday. Some analysts may have been disappointed that the company did not introduce any new hardware at its Worldwide Developers Conference yesterday. But CEO Steve Jobs did debut a new free online service called iCloud, which will let users access media via the internet on multiple devices. Apple also announced an upgrade to its operating system for the iPhone and iPad and a new Mac OS X named Lion. Meanwhile, Sony introduced a new handheld video game console called the PlayStation Vita. The device will hit the U.S. market by the end of this year, priced at $249 for a Wi-Fi only version and $299 for Wi-Fi and 3G. A Sony executive also apologized for the outage of its PlayStation network for a month. Sony shares are set to open about 1% lower on Wall Street, after falling about 1.5% in Tokyo.
A hostile takeover attempt may move a couple other stocks today. International Paper is offering $3.3 billion in cash for its smaller rival, Temple Inland. The bid is worth $30.60 a share, a 46 premium over Temple Inland's closing price yesterday. International Paper is taking the offer directly to shareholders after the smaller company's board rejected its recent approaches. Shares of Temple Inland are jumping 45% on the news, and IP is up about 5% in the pre-market. Meanwhile, Walt Disney may open slightly higher, following media reports that it plans to cut about 200 jobs at its film studio. The report cited weak DVD sales as the reason for the potential layoffs. And finally, keep an eye on shares of General Motors today. The automaker said its vehicle sales in China declined last month. That's the latest from Weiss Research. We'll be back after the opening bell with all the market reaction.